Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another live. Hope you're having, excuse me, hope you're having a great start to your day. And we'll wait for our roll call. And here we go. Nice to have you on, Maria and Rosalinda from Niagara Falls. Eric. Hello, hello, hello. Andrea, nice to have you on. Jen, from Cape Breton. Michael, Norland. Nativity. Rosa, Montreal. Kevin. Excuse me, guys. I got phlegm in my throat. Nick. And from our staff, Georgie, Halifax. Yolande. Sunny afternoon. Nellie. And Morris in North Bay. And how is you? And Serpa from Dowling. Jeanette. Good afternoon. Jane, Nova Scotia. Etta. Wendy, California. Sherry. And Pat. Nice to have you on. Grace. Sebring, Florida. Luella, West Tennessee. I think there's a lot of sun in the east, at least. Delphine, isn't it? Margaret, I missed it. Shelley from Kansas. Karen, Marvel, Ottawa. Dale, Waterloo. And Wendy from Fairmont Hot Springs, British Columbia. Adeline, how are you? Rose, Peterborough. Ken, hola. Beverly, good afternoon. I like your last name, Bev. Joanne, Berks Falls. Rosemary, how are you? Baldo, Washington State. Chantal Espinola, how are you? Kelly, good afternoon. Rita, nice to have you on. Jeanette and Connie, thanks for coming on, guys. Nicole, how are you? Julie. And Brenda from Campbell River, British Columbia. And Keith, our friend Keith from, he's in Estera, Florida. And Jen, how are you? Rose. And Doc McEwen, how are you? Nice to have you on. This is going to be, well, some of it will be about what Dr. McEwen does. Okay, but let's, thanks for coming on, guys. We appreciate it. We're going to talk a little bit about aging this afternoon. And this comes out of the Gerontology Society of America. Okay? The 8 factors that age you faster. Okay, and we could open this up to be a quiz, see how close you got. But this is according to the Gerontology Society of America, and they list 8 factors that will age you quicker. And then I'm going to talk to you, maybe if we get it today or not, maybe tomorrow, I'll talk to you about what's the best thing you can do about anti-aging. And then there's a study that I want to comment on, and this, let me just look at it. It talks about mitochondrial aging linked to major depression. This is where I was talking about Dr. McEwen. She'd be interested in this. Mitochondria linked to mitochondria aging linked to major depression in older adults. So if we can get to that, we will get to that today. So let's do the list of 8 factors that age you faster. Okay? And number 1, nothing apparently better or worse than this is smoking. So number one on the list, according to the Gerontology Society of America, the number one thing that ages you is smoking. Now, let me just say, on the inside of the body, the way they measure age, okay, other than by a calendar, where they actually look at cells, one of the things they do is they measure free radical damage. And free radical damage, the best example I can give to you is you cut an apple in half, right before your eyeballs, it starts to rust out. An apple cut in half will oxidize very quickly. The same oxygen that you live by, you need oxygen to live, is the same oxygen that will kill you. It'll rust you out. So that's inside the body. That's what happens. Okay, so it's called free radical damage. Okay, and there's oxidation and there's glycation. Oxidation and glycation. Glycation is a form of what they call advanced end products, and your body ages, your tendons, your muscles, your skin, glycation, and we'll get into that in a minute. Okay, so I just want to talk about aging inside, but what are the factors that age would create free radicals, smoking being the worst? Well, we know that. Now, I just got to say it because I find this interesting that smoking is actually gone down in North America. Like, we got the memo, okay? It's not that people still smoke. They still smoke too much. But one thing medicine, I got to give them credit, is they really went against smoking. You know that. I mean, it's been for 50 years or more. I remember when my dad quit smoking, you know, he had read that a cancer study that said smoking caused cancer. My dad, he came home from the office one day, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I was about 10 years old, and he took his pack of cigarettes, Buckingham, filterless. I didn't like my dad's cigarettes. I liked my mom's. She smoked filtered Peter Jacksons. Everybody smoked. My older brother smoked in the house. Everybody smoked. And it's kind of funny because, you know, now today it's so taboo to smoke, which is, I'm happy about it. But anyway, my dad just went cold turkey, never had another cigarette in his life. I wish my mom would have done that too, but she didn't. Anyways, one of the ways that, you know, and everybody understands lung cancer and smoking. But today, and the reason I bring this up is because I want to connect something for here. Today, lung cancer is still the number one killing cancer in North America. Did you know that? Lungs. Yet, smoking has gone down. But what's created lung cancer? Well, they're finding the same thing that when used to smoke caused lung cancer and free radical damage within the lungs. It's the same thing when you don't have a good diet. And especially these seed oils, anything fast food, any manufactured food, any kind of food like that, they're full of these oils, and now they're finding out that that is a major cause of lung cancer. And lung cancer is still the number one killing cancer in North America. Smoking. Number two, alcohol. Okay, number two is alcohol. According to the Gerontology Society of America. Now, the next six have to do with metabolic syndrome. And my friend, metabolic syndrome is food. Okay? 93% of the population, this is not according to me, it used to be 88%, now it's 93% of the population have some form of metabolic syndrome. Let's continue down the list of the Gerontology Society saying factors that cause aging in the body. Smoking, alcohol, number 3, waist size. Okay? The size of your waist, well, that's metabolic syndrome. Belly fat. And they classify it, the society here classified it in a woman, anything over 36-inch waist, measured at the belly button, I believe, and for men, 40 inches. Any kind of belly fat is very, very involved in accelerated aging. Waist size. 4th, body fat. Body fat. Body fat percentage has a huge effect on aging. On aging. Now again, I'm just telling you, you can be as skinny as a rake and not be healthy. And I see that every day when I look at people's blood work, when I look at their triglycerides and their HDL, and I look at biomarkers that I'm interested in. I see a lot of people not, and they're not, you can sometimes see it on their blood work that this is how much how old they are and what their, how tall they are and how much they weigh. A lot of skinny people. Waist size, body fat, CRP, C-reactive protein. What is that? Again, it's a measurement. It's a measurement of what? It's a measurement of inflammation. I always used to say, what's a double-edged sword for your body? Oxidation and inflammation. Double-edged sword. Okay? Oxidation and inflammation. And CRP, if you have elevated CRP, what should be your CRP number? C-reactive protein. It should be 0 or under 0. They actually can measure it under 0. Because what it's doing, now if you got a cold, or you're fighting a bug, or you just had a car accident or whatever, your CRP is going to go up because it's going to measure inflammation. But generally, what we're talking about here is silent inflammation, inflammation that you wouldn't even know you have. So it doesn't mean you have to have rheumatoid arthritis or even osteoarthritis. You might, but this is a silent inflammation. That's why I love the CRP test. It is such an important biomarker when it comes to inflammation. And inflammation, according to the Gerontology Society of America, they're saying that inflammation is a big factor in aging. Okay? A big factor in aging. CRP. That's number 5. Number 6, triglycerides. Hello. Now I get a little bit miffed when I see triglycerides, because even today, 2023, you can hardly get a physician to talk about triglycerides. You'll almost have to bring them to a dentist. Anesthetic. I lost you for a second. Everybody all right? Give me a thumbs up if I'm back on, okay? Because I had a disconnection. That must have been my Wi-Fi just for a second. Give me a thumb. Let me see a thumb. There we go. Thank you very much. You can see me. You can hear me. Good. Okay. And you can hardly get, and even over the weekend, somebody sent me an email and they want me to look at their blood work and their doctor's worried about cholesterol. And you can't make me worry about cholesterol. Okay? And I know it's not your fault. Your doctor's uptight. Dr. Martin, what am I going to do? My cholesterol, my doctor wants to put me on medication. I know, I sympathize with you. But you can't make me sensitive to cholesterol. I shouldn't say that. Let me not make a statement that I don't believe. Yes, I look at cholesterol. Yes, cholesterol is important. Only when it's high, not when cholesterol's bad when it's high. Cholesterol is bad when it's low, not high. Dr. Martin, I got a high cholesterol. Yippee, yippee. That's what you want. But this society is talking about aging, and they're talking about triglycerides. I just about passed out. Are you kidding me? Somebody actually thinking about the importance of keeping your triglycerides low. You want to have low triglycerides and high cholesterol, high HDL specifically. Somebody sent me blood work the other day. It didn't have their HDL there. It had triglycerides, but it didn't have HDL. Now you're asking, I need to see the both numbers because it's the ratio that counts. But according to the Gerontology Society of America, it's really important to keep your triglycerides low. Now, let me tell you again where triglycerides come from. Your body makes triglycerides, okay? So are triglycerides bad? No. Only when they get high. Because tri-3, glyceride, 3 fat balls. So your body makes them, nothing to be worried about unless they get high. And especially if they're high and your cholesterol, your HDL is low. Because high triglycerides, and we always talk about heart disease, because fat balls clog up your blood vessels. Triglycerides. Especially in the absence of high HDL. Okay? So what am I saying? That's for heart disease. How do you get triglycerides to go high? Well, eat nothing but junk. Sugar. Crappy carbs. They turn to sugar rapidly. Okay? So what? Well, then they go to your liver. And your liver, when it gets full, when the Costco parking lot gets full, it sends triglycerides into the bloodstream. And the problem is, when that liver is full, not going to produce enough HDL cholesterol. Okay? So that's, in a nutshell, something very important cardiovascular-wise. But for this, Gerontology Society is saying, yeah, but even for aging, isn't that interesting? It's one of the primary factors, number 6 on their hit parade, for aging the body. Triglycerides. Imagine that. Yeah, it's not cholesterol. It's not cholesterol. It's triglycerides that are in that list. Number 7, childhood obesity. Childhood obesity. Again, metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome. If you were obese as a child, you're going to age quicker. I guess there's a lot of free radical damage that occurs, that it continues to occur. Listen, I'm going to give you some good news in a minute, okay? I'm giving you the bad news first, okay? Smoking, alcohol, waist size, body fat, CRP, triglycerides, childhood obesity, and then at the end, number 8, and it really should be right at the top because they don't see this the way I do, but they say, well, type 2 diabetes is number 8 on the aging list. Now listen, I said this to a diabetic last week. Okay? I said, you're on the Titanic. And I don't care if you're on meds and they're controlling your blood sugar. If you don't turn the ship around, you are in deep doo-doo. Okay? And I spelled it out. Said, listen, you're a diabetic. It will end poorly. It will end poorly. But let me say this, okay? Diabetes is the last thing that occurs in the body. One of the last things. Why? Because blood sugar is a lagging indicator. Okay? Tony Jr. and I like that term. It's a lagging indicator. Don't wait till your blood sugar, till the doctor says you're a diabetic. Because if the doctor said you're a diabetic, you've been a diabetic probably for over 10 years. It's just that your body, your insulin in particular, was working extremely hard to keep your blood sugars low. But you were already a diabetic without getting the diagnosis because waist size is diabetes. Obesity is diabetes. What? Yeah, it's really diabetes. Triglycerides really is a form of diabetes. Body fat. It's a form of diabetes without the actual diagnosis. I'm going to do a whole show or two on that in the near future, maybe even this week. I'm going to explain that to you. But when I see this list, and 8 of them, or 6 out of the 8, have to do with food, it really is a diabetic problem without the official diagnosis of diabetes. Now, diabetes type 2 is number 8 on the hit parade. You want to age your body fast? Be a diabetic or a pre-diabetic. Have high triglycerides. Have high CRP. Okay? Interesting list, isn't it? I found it fascinating, really. And 6 out of 8 have to do with food. You want to age quicker? It's food. Now let me give you some good news because I just wrote this out. And, okay. Now, in 2022, there was a study, a huge study on meat consumption with 175 countries polled. And the places that had the highest meat consumption had it was meat they're showing is anti-aging. It increased longevity. Wow. I don't think you're going to hear that in many places. What's the best thing you can do to help to protect your body from aging? Meat. Okay? Now that goes against the narrative. They all want us to eat meatless burgers, and they want to talk about the climate, more important than anything else in the world, more important than anything. And it drives me crazy because you got an elephant in the room that's killing millions and millions of people, and they don't want to talk about it because they're bought and paid for by the food industry, and the food industry makes you sick, and the pharmaceutical industry profits from the food industry. True or false? It's true. I'm not a bearer of bad news. I just give you the news. And, the food industry is not concerned about your health. It's not. It's concerned about their bottom line. If they were concerned about your health, they get rid of sugar. They get rid of cereals. They get rid of all those crappy foods in the middle aisles of the grocery store that are absolutely no good for you. But they won't do that. Of course they're not going to do that. And they've duped North Americans into believing that eggs, meat, Dr. Martin, cheese. How can cheese be good for you? It's full of cholesterol. Can't be good. It's not good, is it? Yeah, it's really good. And so's meat, and so's eggs. The 175 countries, and the countries that consume the most meat, people live longer. Okay, now that's an association study. It's not the gold standard of all studies, but it's still a study. And I'm telling you, we need to eat more meat. Okay, number 2, vitamin D. You want to live longer? You want to live? Look, guys, here's my goal, by the way, okay? I talked to you about this in the past. This is my goal, okay? Time, okay? Your birth and your death. Now, I don't want to do it prematurely, but it's not really in your hands. You can help it out, but I'm not so worried about quantity, okay? I'm not worried about quantity. I'm more worried about quality, okay? I don't want to live till 110 if my brain doesn't work. I really don't. You? I don't want to live till 110. People tell me I want to live till 110. Oh, be careful what you wish for. You might be a real pain for your kids. They've got to change your diapers. Okay, I look, guys, and I love seniors. I'm a senior. So do you think I don't love them? Of course I do. But I'm more of a realist. I'm a guy that's after quality of life. Okay? And look, I'm talking to you about anti-aging now. I talked to you about aging and now anti-aging. Look I'm 71. I don't look like I used to. Okay? It happens. I'm not trying to stop the clock. I don't want to accelerate the clock. How's that? Okay? I don't want to stop the clock. But I want to protect my brain. I want to protect my bones. I want to protect my heart. I want to protect my liver. I know the importance of all those organs. So I'm doing everything I can to put everything on my side. So when you see me talking to you about food, listen, okay? I try and practice what I preach, okay? Do I cheat? Yeah. But I'm disciplined. And I don't eat sugar. No, I just don't. And I learned some very, very good habits a long time ago. And I haven't had a chocolate bar since I was a kid. And, like ice cream, somebody cuts up their birthday or whatever, and I might have a little wee bit, and I'm not going to have much. I just, I don't have a sweet tooth. I train myself. And so the best, I'm going to give you the list of anti-aging. vitamins. Okay? Eat vitamin S, steak, meat. Put it at the top of your list. It's the best thing for you. Number 2, vitamin D. We talk about it all the time. Get the sun. Get the sun. That's the best source, but if you're not going to see the sun, if you don't get in the sun 3 or 4 days a week and expose your arms and legs, you're not going to get enough vitamin D. You need to take a supplement of vitamin D, and we recommend it with vitamin K2. Okay? And hello, have I been consistent about that? Have I been consistent about talking about vitamin D? Yes, I have. Okay? Yes, I have. And by the way, there's a war on vitamin D. There's a war. They want to get rid of it. I mean it. Because one of the biggest factors in that was during the virus. There were studies came out, and I talked to you about these studies, that showed vitamin D was probably more effective than anything else. And what happened to it? It got poo-pooed. And it made me angry. And they silenced me. I was not to talk about it. I was not to talk about it. I could hardly tell you the truth with the threat of taking me off the air. Man, vitamin D, it's so simple. And it would have kept people out of hospitals and all this and that. But no. The farmers, if you don't think there's not big forces in this world that are out to get us, I'm telling you folks, I don't know what to say to you. Even though they do good things, there's some bad apples there. There's some bad apples in those industries. And they influence the FDA and Health Canada and the rest of them. And now they're trying to outlaw vitamin D. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Vitamin C. Not ascorbic acid. Not ascorbic acid. Vitamin C, I mean coffee. You want to get anti-aging coffee. 1,000 plus phytonutrients. You want to age slower? Vitamin C, the real one, the coffee one, not ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid, vitamin C, hey, I like it. Nothing compared to the real vitamin C coffee. Nothing like it. Because of quercetin in coffee, because of over 1,000 phytonutrients. It's an anti-aging supplement, and you get to drink it and enjoy it. How do you like that? Vitamin E. Exercise. Sun, steak, and steel. A real anti-aging is a vitamin E. The real one. Okay. There's another vitamin E. That's nothing compared to exercise. The real vitamin E. The Martin Clinic vitamin E. And the best thing you can do anti-aging is get strong. Ladies, if I can just hold on to you, bring you closer to me, and tell you ladies, get strong. Get stronger than you are. Every biomarker in the body will respond if you're stronger. Okay? You don't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but you need to be stronger. This is why we like weight-resistant exercises. Get stronger. Build bins. especially in the lower body, my friend. Okay. Now I got a few more, but we'll do a few more as we go along. Probably this might be an anti-aging week. Might be aging and anti-aging. Okay. Guys, we got a good week coming up. Okay? And we love you guys, so we want you to send in your questions for question and answer Friday or Saturday. We actually done the last 2 Saturdays. Some people really like that. Hey, give us some feedback on that, by the way. Okay? Give me some feedback on that. Okay. I love you guys. I don't say it enough. And I mean it. Talk to you soon.